The vet raised the syringe, ready to give Max his final goodbye shot. But as the dying dog wrapped his weak paws around his owner in one last hug, the vet suddenly froze. Something was wrong, and what he discovered in that moment left everyone speechless. The small veterinary clinic was quiet, except for the faint hum of medical equipment. Afternoon sunlight spilled through the blinds, casting soft stripes across the tiled floor. In the corner, a man knelt beside his German shepherd, Max, his hands trembling as they stroked the dog's fur. Max was once strong and full of life, a hero in his owner's eyes, but now he lay weak and fragile, his breathing shallow. Tears blurred the man's vision as he whispered, "It's okay, buddy. I'm here." Max's tail gave the faintest twitch, as if he understood. The room carried an almost sacred stillness, broken only by the sound of the man's quiet sobs. The veterinarian prepared the syringe, her expression soft but solemn, as if she too felt the weight of the moment. Max shifted slightly, pressing his head into his owner's chest. His paws wrapped around the man's shoulders in what felt like a final hug. The man clung to him, heart aching, knowing this might be their last memory together. A lump rose in his throat as he whispered, "I love you so much." The vet approached carefully, needle in hand, as time seemed to slow. This was supposed to be goodbye. Just as the veterinarian moved closer, Max's body tensed. Instead of lying limp as expected, he tightened his grip around his owner's shoulders. His claws pressed gently into the man's back, and his head buried deeper into his chest. The man froze, startled by the sudden burst of strength. Max's soft whimper escaped, echoing painfully through the silent room. The veterinarian hesitated, watching closely. "That's unusual," she murmured, lowering the syringe slightly. Dogs at this stage rarely showed such determination. Max's eyes glistened, locking onto his owner's face as if pleading for something, pleading for more time. His breathing was heavy but purposeful, and his ears twitched at every movement in the room. A wave of confusion rippled through the owner's chest. "It's okay, boy," he whispered shakily. "You can rest now." But Max didn't relax. He clung even tighter, his heartbeat faint yet rhythmic against his owner's chest. The air felt heavy with tension, the quiet broken only by the dog's slow breaths and the faint beeping of a monitor in the background. The vet took a step back, eyes narrowing in thought. Something didn't feel right. Max wasn't just resisting, he was trying to tell them something. The veterinarian crouched down, her eyes locked on Max. She reached out slowly, running her hands along his fur with deliberate care. That's when she felt it, a subtle but distinct tremor rippling through his muscles. It wasn't the weakness of a dog fading away. It was the tension of a body fighting against something. "Hold on," she said suddenly, her voice firm enough to stop the owner mid-tier. "Don't let go of him yet." Her fingers pressed gently along Max's ribcage, and she listened closely to his chest. The rhythmic beat of his heart was weak but off. Something in his breathing pattern caught her attention. Short, shallow breaths, followed by a low groan, as if he was in pain but trying to push through it. The owner's hands tightened around Max instinctively. "What is it?" he asked, panic creeping into his voice. The vet didn't answer immediately. Instead, she moved to examine his abdomen and paused, her brow furrowing. A faint, almost invisible swelling caught her eye. Her heart skipped. "This isn't normal," she muttered, glancing at the monitor nearby. Max whimpered again, pressing his nose into his owner's shoulder. The vet straightened, a spark of urgency flashing in her eyes. "We're not putting him down yet." The sudden change in the vet's tone sent a jolt through the room. She quickly signaled to a nurse. "Get me the ultrasound machine now." The owner's tears paused midstream, replaced by confusion and hope he was almost afraid to feel. Max stayed clutched in his arms, his weak body trembling, eyes pleading silently as if he understood everything happening around him. Within moments, the portable machine was wheeled in. The vet gently guided Max onto the padded table, though he refused to let go of his owner entirely, one paw resting stubbornly on the man's arm. Cool gel spread across his abdomen, and the vet's eyes narrowed as she moved the probe. Seconds stretched like hours. The only sounds were the hum of the machine and the owner's unsteady breathing. Then, the screen flickered with an image that made the vet's eyes widen. There it is, she whispered. A shadow, an internal swelling, something pressing dangerously close to his organs. This is why he's been acting like this. He wasn't dying naturally. He's in acute pain from a rupture. He's been holding on for you to notice. The owner's heart pounded as the vet snapped off her gloves. Prep him for emergency surgery. We can still save him. The clinic erupted into motion. Nurses wheeled Max toward the operating room, their shoes squeaking across the polished floor. The owner followed until he reached the swinging double doors, where a nurse gently stopped him. You can't go any further, she said softly. He nodded, his chest tight, watching as Max disappeared into the sterile white room. Inside, the vet worked quickly, her hands steady despite the urgency. Scalpel, she said, and the nurse placed it in her hand without hesitation. Bright surgical lights illuminated Max's frail body, and the rhythmic beep of the monitor echoed in the tense room. Every second counted. As the vet carefully opened the affected area, her heart pounded. A sudden rush of internal bleeding confirmed her suspicion. An organ rupture had gone unnoticed. We caught it just in time, she muttered, clamping the bleed. Her team moved like a well-oiled machine, suctioning, stitching, stabilizing. Outside, the owner sat hunched in a plastic chair, gripping Max's collar like a lifeline. Every muffled sound from the operating room made his stomach twist. Hours felt like days. He whispered to himself, Please, please come back to me, buddy. Then, the faintest sound of a heartbeat monitor steadied, echoing hope. The waiting room was silent except for the distant hum of machines. The owner's hands trembled as he stared at the closed operating room doors. Every minute felt like an eternity. His mind replayed every memory of Max, long walks, playful barks, and the loyal eyes that had never left his side. He couldn't lose him, not like this. Suddenly, the doors swung open, and the vet stepped out, her surgical mask lowered. Her expression was tense but determined. He's stable for now, she said. Relief crashed over the owner, but she raised a hand. He fought hard, but he's not out of danger yet. The next few hours are critical. He was allowed to see Max, and the sight nearly broke him. The dog lay on the table, hooked to monitors, his chest rising and falling in fragile rhythm. But when he heard his owner's voice, I'm here, buddy, his ears twitched. Slowly, his eyes opened, soft but full of life, and his palm moved just enough to touch the man's hand. The vet smiled faintly. He recognized you. That's a good sign. Tears blurred the owner's vision as he whispered, You're the bravest boy, just hold on for me. Max's tail gave the slightest wag, and for the first time in days, a smile spread across the owner's face. The vet entered quietly, checking the monitors with a nod of approval. He's a fighter, she said. The surgery was a success. He just needed someone to believe in him long enough to give him this chance. Tears streamed freely as the man hugged his dog gently, careful of the stitches. You weren't saying goodbye. You were asking me to save you, he whispered. Max responded with a soft lick to his hand, a gesture so small, yet so powerful it filled the room with hope. As the days passed, Max grew stronger, his spirit returning with every wag of his tail. To everyone in that clinic, he wasn't just a dog. He was a miracle who refused to let go of life and love.